We're something of a YouTube channel ourselves.
It's true. We are Marvelous Musings, and this is the No Way Home episode. We're sorry, everybody, because our co-host Naranjan, he couldn't be here today, and we have decided to formally kick him out of the channel because he just couldn't show that commitment,
His
and
contributions will never be forgotten, of
of
course.
course, of
All right, guys,
course.
this is Marvelous Musings. It's the biggest
Am
episode.
I?
Uh-oh.
Oh
Uh-oh.
God.
There's the goblin.
Pumpkin bomb time.
Yep.
Welcome back to another episode, guys.
Yeah,
we're talking about
yeah.
No Way Home today.
You're not getting a No Way Home review episode without me in it. Let's
You're
get that
getting-
clear.
Fair enough, valid. That's pretty valid. Well, today we're just going to be talking about the movie, what we liked about it. Which is
Spoiler
everything.
alert. Spoiler alert.
Massive spoiler alert,
Huge
obviously.
spoiler alert.
If you still haven't seen it, which you should go and check it out, unless you live in one of those countries that don't have it yet.
If you haven't seen it, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Again,
Yeah, good question.
Every single people who haven't seen No Way Home yet, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Obviously, in fashion of Spider-Man, we're all dressed as Tobey Maguire.
Oh yeah, of course.
Brilliant.
All right, so today we're going to be starting to talk first of all about the plot. We all loved it. Then we're going to talk about our characters, our favorite characters, all these people who came back, and of course, huge spoiler alerts. And finally, we're going to talk about what's next for the MCU. So, Algard, start us off. What did you think about the plot?
I thought it was good. Honestly, we kind of knew what was happening right off the bat. Like we knew everything from the trailer that was, we knew that we were going to see these old villains come back because something went wrong with Doctor Strange's spell. So we knew the basics of what was going to happen with the plot already, but coming into it, I didn't find that made it boring. I found that in any sense, there was so much left to see with the movie. I think that was a big fear of mine, actually, that coming into this, we would watch this and a lot of content would already have been revealed to us. And I'm not talking about spoilers. I'm simply talking about the fact that I felt like we saw so much from the trailers and all the clips
We did have a 45-minute video on it. I mean,
exactly.
Oh yeah.
So I thought they had plenty of content out already, and I was scared that we'd know everything already. But I was happy to see that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. The plot was amazing. One of the best things about this movie was I felt it was one of the more emotional focused Marvel movies. The set pieces and the action set pieces were amazing. For once, we weren't fighting a massive CGI army, so that was really nice. Shang-Chi, sorry.
Yeah. About that.
We loved that. I personally loved the CGI. It was well done. It took a lot from Doctor Strange, which had some of the best CGI in the MCU thus far. And above all, though, I really loved how many emotional and touching moments there were. It was really good for character growth, which we're going to touch on in a moment. But overall, I love the plot. And Agraj said the main thing about how the fact that we knew a lot of what was going to happen, it didn't really degrade the quality of the movie. If anything, it enhanced it. So that's my main takeaway about the plot.
Yeah. I definitely agree with everything you guys said. I think the plot was very unexpected. I'd say, and this is coming from us, which we basically break down all the time how No Way Home's plot might be, and it was very unexpected how Peter would try to cure them, and we really thought the way that Peter would help them was definitely just by releasing them and stuff, and it was clearly very unexpected how overall how this movie turned out with the plot and stuff, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. Again, it's very nostalgic to see, first of all these previous villains from my childhood returning to the big screen after how many respective years it's been for them. And yeah, it made me feel like a kid again.
I want to add to that one thing, and this ties into our next key area of exploration, if you will. This ties into that. It's what I want to talk about is just how each of these actors, each of these characters, none of them were cameos. Like when we heard that, obviously huge spoiler ahead, when we heard that all three of the Spider-Men would be returning for this, part of me was worried that like they just give each of them a cameo and they just have like Bully Maguire just walk in, see a chumps, and then walk right out of the sling ring. They didn't do that, and I'm really happy because All of these are amazing characters. It's been so long, and I'm really happy that they were treated with the respect that they deserved. They all got proper character arcs. So, Agraj, what did you think about Doc Ock's character arc in this movie? I want to talk about that.
I really liked how they integrated Doc Ock. I remember when we were talking about Doc Ock originally in our trailer episode, I said that I think Doc Ock's going to be a good guy, which in the end he actually was, because Peter was able to cure him. What I did not anticipate, I guess, was how he was going to become a good guy. I think I assumed right off the bat that somehow he was going to become a good guy again, somehow related to the nanotech, because we saw that happen, and then we saw him supposedly helping them. So we weren't sure if he was helping them right off the bat or not. He wasn't. That wasn't the case. But I didn't anticipate that one thing, which was the nanotech spreading to Doc Ock's arms would actually allow Peter to control him. That was really smart. And I was just thinking, like, wow, that would have been useful in Spider-Man 2.
They did set this up in Endgame.
When?
With the gauntlet, the iron gauntlet that Thanos tried to use. I mean, that's the thing with Stark Tech.
Yeah.
You know, more than, you know, stuff like license plates and all that, what I loved was how each of the, like, obviously this was made a lot easier by the fact that all of these characters have had their own movies before coming in. It's like an extended cinematic universe, obviously. It works so well because we don't need all that context and backstory that would have made this a 10-hour movie easily. We're able to understand it, and all their arcs made sense. So just a few that we wanted to talk about. Doc Ock. I wanted to talk about specifically Doc Ock, we just did, Andrew Spider-Man, and William Dafoe's Green Goblin. So, Naranjan, you mentioned earlier that you really like William Dafoe's Green Goblin. Of course, you're not out. So, you want to talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, dude. Obviously, coming from Spider-Man 1 back in 2002, it's been 20 years since. It's been 20 years, right? Yeah, 20 years since Willem Dafoe's returning to the big screen as Green Goblin. And obviously, he is such a menace to society. Yeah, my biggest problem, though, with Green Goblin is that how little we got him in the movie. If I were to change something, I would have definitely added a bit more Green Goblin scenes. If I were to change something, right? And yeah, you have anything.
Yeah, I'd add to that. I think that one thing that they were definitely missing out on, and was the fact that Doc Ock and Toby had their own little moment at the end where they were talking.
Yeah, that too.
There was none of that with Norman and Toby's Spider-Man. When they, like, Toby's Spider-Man was influenced greatly by Norman Osborn, and I thought that would have been really cool. The only thing they got in that entire movie was a little glance at the end of the movie before they all disappeared.
That's it. Yeah, I agree. But again, dude, how insane he is. The plot twist that he was still controlled by the Goblin the entire time back in Happy's apartment was completely insane. And obviously that big scene where the glider hit Aunt May and she got back up was very confusing.
I was a little confused. I was like, she just got like smacked by the glider, and she got stabbed as well. And I was like, how is she still alive? And then obviously she wasn't after that, but it took her a while to die.
Yeah,
sad as it is.
Dude, no joke. I remember that specific frame. The moment the glider hit Aunt May, her body did a 90-degree, and then she just stands up from it. Like, bro, that was very confusing. But she did die at the end, which was.
And we got to hear those words. We got to hear them. We've heard variants of them over the entire MCU, and we really got to hear them for the first time in the MCU.
And apparently,
great power comes great responsibility.
Apparently, Aunt May is Uncle Ben for MCU, and okay.
Oh yeah, in that sense, I know. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Wait, but that raises a question: does Uncle Ben truly exist in the MCU?
Or yes, I think he does. I don't know if I'm misremembering this, but in Far From Home, isn't the suitcase that Peter takes Uncle Ben's?
It does, but that's the only reference we get to him, though.
But that must mean he exists, and he existed. I'm hoping that Spider-Man freshman year clears that up a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, one more thing, with regards, like, Andrew and Toby Spider-Man both talked about when they had that really emotional moment at on the rooftop with Tom, actually. I'm just going to call him the first actor's names. They both referenced losing their Uncle Ben's, and it seemed like Tom kind of understood that what they were saying. Otherwise, he would have asked, who's Uncle Ben?
Yeah.
So it worked. I think he did have an Uncle Ben. The suitcase also references it, but I think Uncle Ben is more. He's more than a character. He's a symbol of what of what Peter could have been, and what
Yeah.
Peter is always striving to be. And so if Aunt May can take that role, you know, I think that's fine.
And I don't think Tom's Uncle Ben, at least, was the same influence on him that Toby and Andrews was, at least.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Especially since we never get any references to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, I hope freshman year will clear up a little. Should we
Yeah.
talk about Andrew and then maybe a little bit about the minor characters?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But Andrew, throughout this entire movie, obviously he's getting back from Gwen's death, and he sort of went down a darker path as Spider-Man.
He did say that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. At the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, obviously he gets influenced to become Spider-Man after quitting after Gwen died, after he watched her graduation speech, and that led to a very wholesome scene with a little kid trying to stand up against Rhino. Yeah, and that apparently that optimism was very short-lived because he stopped pulling his punches, and it's
That
a very
makes sense.
yeah,
And
it
that
does
makes
make
sense.
He never really moved on from Gwen dying, and I guess this movie he kind of redeemed himself obviously with catching MJ and stuff, and his acting.
And that scene
very
was
well done.
amazing.
It was.
That's
It
it.
was. His
Like
acting
people
was
called
very
it in the trailers. People called it in the trailers, and
good. Yeah.
I wanted
I
to
called
believe
it.
them, but you know what they say. Expect disappointment, and you'll never be disappointed. So I was really happy to see that scene, though.
I was.
Yeah,
I
I was
it
as
was
well.
absolutely.
It was an amazing character moment.
Can we just say that when he was catching Gwen, right? He tried to use his webbing, and
Yeah.
he saw what that did. When he caught MJ, he immediately leapt for her instead of trying to use his webbing. He
Exactly.
bent down and he leapt like he was diving, right, for her instead. I'm just thinking that he probably played, because the thing is he's older now, quite a bit older than he was.
Yep.
He's
Still
probably
is
played
hot.
that like memory in his mind like millions of times, trying to think of how he could have saved Gwen. And that's probably
Exactly.
why he was able to save MJ with such efficiency in that moment.
You know,
Yeah.
I also like the respect that like that scene gave to fans, because one way that it was proposed would have been like to show that flashback in his eyes of Gwen falling and then he saves MJ. And I feel like yeah, you could have done that, but I think all the fans got it. We didn't need that reminder. And I
Yeah.
think I liked how this was like everything about this movie was treated with the respect it deserves, especially the amazing actors. And you guys all already said this, but William Dafoe's Green Goblin
Furthermore,
and Norman Osborn too.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Furthermore, his interactions with the other two Spider-Man were really great as well. He definitely treats them like they were his brothers and stuff. And it's really like nice to see that one scene before the big fight where they're just like talking to each other. That was a really nice scene. I think.
Can I
my
just say they got each other's backs?
Yeah, they did.
Wait, before we
I'm
do
so
that,
confused.
let's just like talk a little bit about some of the more minor characters, because I think there is a little bit to be said about them. Electro.
Electro was not a minor character.
Electro was not a minor character, but
The minor character was really Lizard.
He was just there for fun. Let's be honest.
Yeah, dude. My problem with Lizard, and this is like in the Amazing Spider-Man 1, the CGI on Lizard was freaking amazing, right? And in this, every single time he talked, it looked so weird.
Mhm.
I mean, to be fair, like Lizard's development wasn't very well done in Amazing. Like one of the biggest problems with the Amazing series was the writing wasn't really the best, and I think there wasn't much really to go on, like with regards to Lizard's character.
Well, no, for
Electro definitely had a lot more. So
no.
we were able to get
Lizard
that.
had much more than Electro. Electro, all it is like the he got humiliated in public and that's it.
I mean, but with
Lizard, on the
Electro,
other
we also got we also like seriously got the hints of a lot of problems that were more than just public humiliation.
Have you seen those deleted scenes with Max Dillon's Electro? With Jamie Foxx's Electro from TASM 2. There's some really good ones. There's one where he's talking to, I don't remember if it's his mom or his grandma.
It was his mom.
His mom, right? The one where he does the same thing he does to BJ Novak's character in Oscorp, where he just starts screaming at them like in his mind, and then he suddenly like, oh, oops, what was that? Which shows his like internal rage, right? And his how angry he is at society for neglecting him, which really came through in No Way Home, especially.
Yeah.
But I loved his interpretation of Electro.
Here's
Here's the thing about the Lizard and Sandman in this. Thomas Hayden Church and Rhys Ifans, neither of them could make it to actually be shot for any of their scenes.
Yeah, they were voice actors.
They were just voice actors, and all of the footage that you actually see them in is archive footage. So I was watching a video where they compared the footage of them from Spider-Man 3 and then or the Amazing Spider-Man and like to what we actually see. And if you look at that, it's kind of cool because it's the exact same scenes.
Yeah, I noticed that from theaters.
Yeah, so it was kind of sad to not actually see them there, and I'm sure they would have wanted to be, but that's why they did the voice acting at least. But yeah, that is, I think, one of the issues with their characters. Why we still got to see quite a bit of Sandman. I think the Lizard was a little bit of a letdown, but it
was a letdown.
So what do you guys think is the future of the MCU? Because obviously people are talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 3. I really hope that happens, especially that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man has really got a lot of redemption in this movie.
Yeah.
His arc is perfect for another movie at this point.
Yeah.
Toby, I love his Spider-Man, but I don't think he's gonna. He's 48.
It's just too old. He had a good conclusion, I think.
One thing
he did.
If they were to bring Toby back, I think he can't. I think
probably be as a cameo within the MCU.
That's what I was thinking.
Training his Miles Morales could be the best way to go.
So
that's probably the best way to go if they were to make a movie on Toby, a Spider-Man 4 on Toby, or a Miles Morales in a movie in general. But I don't think he's going to get another movie. But Andrew, on the other hand, he definitely deserves it, and he deserves to finish his trilogy and possibly with future projects as well.
So I completely agree with. I think TASM 3 should happen. Yeah, I agree that I don't think I think Toby's basically done, but I think it'd be great to see him in cameos, and I think Andrew too would be great to see them both in cameos. I think we did mention Miles Morales there, and there was a little bit of a Miles Morales reference.
Yes, I remember.
And I love that, which I think could mean that they're considering bringing Miles Morales to the MCU officially, not just like hinted at.
Yeah.
Because
let's go, freaking Donald Glover Prowler. Let's go.
I don't know if he'd actually make a good villain or not. Donald.
No, it would be really fun. It would be really funny, I must say.
Yeah, like I it's the same way with like because it's the same way with the Flash Thompson of the MCU. Like I think he'd just be a little bit too comedic to make like a good villain.
On the other hand, Flash has good comedic relief.
We can have a comedic Prowler.
A comedic Prowler. Prowler is like the most badass villain. Why are we making him funny? He's so cool.
We'll see what happens. I hope they keep Donald Glover though. I love that guy.
Speaking of Flash Thompson, and well, there's a loose connection here, but Venom. Let's talk about the Black Goon.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Yes. Post-credit scene. Symbiote left behind in the MCU universe. Tom's gonna get it.
So so it's very possible that Tom gets it. Who are some other candidates for getting the symbiote?
Astoundingly handsome
That's the thing. I'm scared that it's gonna be Flash Thompson, and I really don't want that because Niranjan, you know about Agent Venom, right?
Yeah, I know about Agent Venom.
Yeah, so Agent Venom, I don't think this Flash Thompson could be a good Agent Venom at all.
Yeah,
I'd much rather have an Agent Venom come through from another universe.
For those of you who don't know, Agent Venom from the comics is basically when a bit of the Venom symbiote attaches itself to what's his name, Flash Thompson, after he goes and joins the U.S. Army. And
I want to stop you right there. I think there is, like, it's been hinted at in 2 movies now. That Tom Hardy has appeared in the MCU at this point. So what I want to go to at this point is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and what I think that's setting up is definitely like what Mordo told him all the way back then. You tampered with the basic realities of space and time, and that has consequences. And we're seeing, I think that's what we're going to see in Multiverse of Madness. All of this actual madness that we saw in Spider-Man is setting up for that. So I think it's possible that there's going to be pathways for Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock to get into. I was going to say Tom Hardy's Bane to get into the MCU, but maybe not him. And I think
maybe not. Yeah. But I certainly do think that Tom Hardy's Venom will be back in the MCU at some point.
Definitely will.
But it would be cool if that happened through, I don't know, Peter getting the symbiote and them needing to figure something out because of that. Maybe it's something like, Venom literally being in 2 universes at once. because it's that bit of black goo left. That was the same Venom that left with Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock. So maybe we'll have to see him come back to fix something with that. Yeah. One idea could be that we see Tom Spider-Man get the symbiote gets attached to Tom Spider-Man.
That works.
And then
because we've already gotten a setup for a much darker.
I was just saying that Ned and MJ are becoming closer friends, right? What if he's now forced to watch from a distance, right? At this, because he realizes he doesn't want to tamper with their lives. He doesn't want to come back into it because he knows that doing that. Is this where
are you going where I think you're going?
Oh, where he tries to kill Ned and Ned becomes Hobgoblin? Yes. No, I just think it could maybe drive him into a jealous rage, and then there are some
that's what I was afraid of
from there. So
I'm just afraid of some dirt in my eye. That's all.
If he does get a symbiote, I hope we get a Bully Holland.
Bully Holland.
He can have my suit. He can have my coat. He can have my shirt.
We technically already had Bully. We already technically had Bully Garfield in Social Network, so Bully Holland.
That's true. We did. But anything else about the future?
No one knows who Peter Parker is, and he has a new and improved suit that he actually sewed himself.
I'm
finally really happy about. No more hoodie man, no more Stark bullshit, just Peter Parker, finally.
One last thing that I think we should say is the fact that I've seen two theories on this. One is that someone's going to come in as Harry Osborn now that Peter needs new friends. The other one is that we won't see Harry Osborn, but a younger Norman Osborn, since Norman Osborn technically doesn't exist in this timeline yet. Or maybe he does, but he's just younger and he hasn't come yet. The other thing is, since Stark Industries is no longer at there, we could now see the rise of Oscorp come from the shadows, and it's possible that we see someone like Norman Osborn that Peter ends up befriending, or Harry Osborn, which a lot of people want Timothy Chalamet to play, which I could kind of see. I could see.
Yeah, speaking of that, would it be possible for a possible Gwen Stacy to appear as well?
That's also possible. I've heard a lot of theories on that, but
you know what? I don't think Ned and MJ are done. I don't think.
They're definitely not done. I mean, obviously Peter's going. Peter and MJ
Ned needs to turn into the Hobgoblin. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Ned needs his bad guy arc. Bro. They referenced it in the movie. What do you want?
Exactly.
He's gonna kill Peter or try to kill him, and then Peter's gonna put him in the ground.
You're trash, Raj.
But
and obviously a possible Miles Morales stuff happening in the next trilogy. At least like a few scenes with him in the final Tom Holland's sixth movie as Spider-Man, I guess. Well, sixth solo movie as Spider-Man.
I'd like to see the sixth one as almost like a passing of the torch movie.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I was just gonna say, I think with that we should probably wrap this up. I think we've gotten a really good discussion on this movie.
Yeah.
And
we loved the movie, and if you haven't watched it, I should have said this right at the beginning, but go watch it now. And we're sorry for spoiling. And see ya, chumps.
One more thing. I'm gonna end the video with #MakeTasm3.
#MakeTasm3. We'll see you all later.